The old house stood on a hill overlooking the town, its silhouette a jagged scar against the bruised evening sky. Locals whispered tales of its former owner, a reclusive clockmaker named Elias Thorne, and the strange, rhythmic ticking that sometimes echoed from its empty windows long after his death. Tonight, however, the only sound was the wind, whistling a mournful tune through the skeletal branches of the surrounding trees, and the frantic thumping of my own heart against my ribs. I was Sarah, a freelance photographer, always chasing the elusive shot, the story untold. The Thorne house, with its reputation for the macabre, was too tempting a subject to pass up. My equipment bag, heavy with lenses and a tripod, dug into my shoulder as I pushed through the rusty gate, its screech a protest against my intrusion. The front door hung ajar, a gaping maw inviting me into the darkness within. A stale, musty odor, like forgotten memories and decay, assaulted my nostrils. Dust motes danced in the last vestiges of twilight filtering through the grimy windows, illuminated for a fleeting moment before vanishing into the encroaching gloom. I clicked on my powerful headlamp, its beam cutting a path through the oppressive darkness, revealing peeling wallpaper, overturned furniture, and a thick carpet of dust that muffled my footsteps. The silence in the house was profound, broken only by the creaks and groans of the old structure settling into the night. I moved from room to room, capturing the desolate beauty of abandonment. A child's forgotten toy under a sheet, a teacup still on a saucer as if waiting for a ghostly hand to pick it up. Each click of my camera shutter felt deafening in the stillness. Then I heard it. A faint, rhythmic tick-tock, tick-tock. It was barely audible at first, a whisper of sound that seemed to emanate from the very walls. I froze, my breath catching in my throat. Elias Thorne, the clockmaker, the stories. A shiver not of cold, but of primal fear snaked down my spine. The ticking grew louder, more distinct, drawing me towards the rear of the house. It seemed to pulse, to resonate with an unnatural energy. I found myself in a long, narrow hallway lined with warped portraits whose eyes seemed to follow me. At the very end was a heavy oak door. From behind it, the tick-tock was now undeniable, a relentless beat in the heart of the house. My hand trembled as I reached for the cold brass knob. It turned with a groan that echoed eerily. The door swung inward to reveal Elias Thorne's workshop. It was a nightmare frozen in time. Clocks of every conceivable size and design adorned the walls, shelves, and even the ceiling, their faces staring out like a multitude of dead eyes. Grandfather clocks, cuckoo clocks, intricate desk clocks, all covered in a thick layer of dust. And in the center of the room, on a heavy wooden workbench, sat a single, unfinished clock. Its intricate gears lay exposed, a delicate metallic skeleton. The tick-tock, I realized, wasn't coming from a finished clock. It was coming from that one, the unfinished one. As I stepped further into the room, a chill permeated the air, a chill that bit deeper than any wind. The shadows in the corner seemed to deepen, to coil and writhe. And then I saw it. A faint, transparent figure shimmered beside the workbench, bent over the unfinished clock. It was Elias Thorne, his form barely perceptible, a ghostly echo of the man he once was. He was meticulously working on the clock, his spectral fingers moving with an ethereal precision. My blood ran cold. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. My camera, forgotten, hung heavy in my hand. He didn't seem to notice me at first, his focus entirely on his timeless task. The tick-tock of the unfinished clock grew louder, faster, a frantic crescendo that pounded in my ears. Suddenly, Elias Thorne paused. His ghostly head lifted slowly, and his translucent eyes, empty yet filled with an ancient sorrow, fixed upon me. A sound like the dry rustle of autumn leaves emanated from him. It was a whisper, a voice from beyond the grave that slithered into my mind. "It needs time," he rasped, his voice a chilling echo. "It needs life." The room began to spin. The air grew heavy, oppressive. The ticking accelerated into a blur, a frantic, deafening cacophony. The unfinished clock on the workbench seemed to glow with an unholy light, its exposed gears spinning wildly. And then, a surge of unimaginable cold washed over me, a sensation of being drawn, pulled into an unseen vortex. My vision blurred, the room dissolving into a swirling vortex of shadows and light. I felt a desperate, primal urge to scream, but no sound escaped my throat. The last thing I saw before darkness consumed me was Elias Thorne, his ghostly face inches from mine, a triumphant yet agonizingly sad smile twisting his spectral lips. I awoke with a gasp, my body aching, my head throbbing. I was no longer in the workshop. I was lying on the dusty floor of the front hallway, the broken gate still visible through the open door. The first rays of dawn, pale and tentative, were just beginning to filter through the windows. I scrambled to my feet, my heart still pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. It had been a dream, a terrifying, vibrant dream. But as I stumbled out of the house, gasping in the cold morning air, a chilling realization dawned upon me. My camera bag was still on my shoulder, but it felt lighter. I fumbled with the clasp, my fingers trembling. Inside, among the lenses and the tripod, was an old brass pocket watch. It wasn't mine. It wasn't in my bag when I entered the house, and from its ancient mechanism, a faint, rhythmic tick-tock, tick-tock, echoed seemingly from within my very being, a constant, chilling reminder of the time I had spent in the house and the time, perhaps, that Elias Thorne had taken from me. The house stood silent and still behind me, but I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that some part of me had been left behind, forever entwined with the spectral clockmaker and his unfinished masterpiece.